On February 5, 1941, Adolf Hitler expressed his frustration with Benito Mussolini, the leader of Fascist Italy, over Italy's military setbacks in Libya. The two leaders, who had formed a close alliance in the years preceding World War II, found themselves at odds as Mussolini's military forces struggled against the British in North Africa. At the time, Italy had invaded Egypt from its colony in Libya, hoping to expand its territory and gain control over the Suez Canal, a vital strategic asset in the Mediterranean region. However, Italian forces were suffering heavy defeats at the hands of the British, who were well positioned in Egypt and had a strong presence in the region. Hitler's rebuke of Mussolini in early February was rooted in both tactical and ideological concerns. Germany, under Hitler, had its own ambitions in North Africa and had promised support to its Italian ally in their campaign against the British. However, Mussolini's lack of military success was becoming an embarrassment, and it was clear that his forces were ill-equipped and poorly prepared for the conflict. Hitler, who had already committed significant resources to supporting the Italian war effort in Africa, was irritated that his allies' failures were threatening to undermine German plans in the Mediterranean. The Italian defeat in Libya was particularly damaging to Mussolini's image as a strong and capable leader. Mussolini's initial enthusiasm for expanding Italy's empire clashed with the harsh realities of modern warfare. By early 1941, Italy's military failures were becoming increasingly apparent, with British forces pushing back Italian advances and even launching a counteroffensive, which resulted in the capture of thousands of Italian prisoners of war. The British victories were significant, as they not only disrupted Italy's ambitions in North Africa but also signaled to the world that the Axis powers were not as invincible as they had once appeared. Hitler's rebuke of Mussolini was a sign of growing tensions between the two leaders. Although their alliance remained intact, it was increasingly clear that Mussolini's military failures were placing a strain on their relationship. Hitler's rebuke also marked a turning point in the relationship between Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy. In response to these setbacks, Hitler would later commit German forces, under the command of General Erwin Rommel, to North Africa to aid Italy in its efforts. This intervention would lead to the creation of the Afrika Korps and, eventually, to a prolonged and bloody campaign in North Africa, one that would not end until the Axis forces were defeated in 1943. Mussolini's inability to achieve success in Libya would have far-reaching consequences. It contributed to the erosion of his political authority and the weakening of Italy's role within the Axis powers. In the broader context of World War II, the situation in Libya was a reflection of the challenges that the Axis powers faced in their attempts to extend their influence and control across Europe and North Africa. Despite Hitler's eventual intervention in the region, the North African campaign would become a symbol of the growing difficulties faced by the Axis in the face of determined Allied resistance.